Hi, my name is Angel Arkangel Flores. I am a trans barbell athlete and advocate, and this is Bear, brought to you by Giddy.
Hello.
Hello.
Angel, it is such a joy to be with you. It's very giddy about this interview today. So the first thing I want to jump right into is the last month. Obviously, Queer came out in January. You were on season 6, I believe. Everyone has just been loving you. You've really taken, I know, the internet by storm. But what was Queer really like? What was that experience for you like?
For me, as both a trans person, as somebody who's been introverted and very much anti-self for most of her life, to have a whole new crew of people, not only just the 5, but the entire crew come into my life and completely change how I see myself and how I see how the world sees me. And reframing for me, okay, it's not about coming out, or it's not about me sharing my story, it's inviting the world to come share in my story. I mean, of course, it's life-changing.
We have seen that you've struck up a friendship with Jonathan Van Ness, or affectionately known as JVN. What does that friendship look like for y'all?
We had an instant connection the week of, just because our identities, like they fall in line with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And then to grow past that, I've gotten the opportunity to both coach them in weight training and to train with them for their gymnastics. It kind of created this even more unique connection. We can train together, laugh together, tell each other stories that we necessarily wouldn't tell anybody else, right? And then also push each other in training as well. Like, I don't think anybody can yell at me the way that Jonathan does, and I don't think I can yell at anybody the way I yell at Jonathan. You know, it's very, very unique, and it's been amazing.
So you briefly touched about lifting and competing, and I could watch you lift all day. I think it's like one of the most empowering things I've ever seen. I'm going to come lift with you. I'm letting you know now. But as a trans athlete, as a trans woman, we see, like you were saying, this legislation, this transphobia, this homophobia against the trans community, the people who are gender fluid in any sort of way competing. What would you say to folks who are having a problem with that?
Well, I'd say that the main concern, of course, is, do trans women have a unfair advantage after hormone therapy, right? So the current regulations across most sports is you go on hormones for about 1.5 years, you get your testosterone down to a certain amount, and after that period of time, you will have no further unfair advantages given by testosterone, right? Because the body has completely rid itself of any testosterone. Every single feature that a trans athlete has that could be considered an advantage, a woman can get to, right? You can grow to be 5'9". You can have a slightly larger hands. I mean, my hands are average compared to all the other girls in my gym, right? You can grow to carry muscle better, right? All these things are competitive advantages that might aid you in competition, but they're not unfair because anybody can have them. I've never been on steroids. I did everything medically with doctors, with psychiatrists, right? And I'm just like every other girl. And that's just how it is. And there's nothing that I could really say to, sorry.
You're good.
I get very frustrated because it very much is like, I'm just normal and I'm just me, and there's nothing special about me besides the fact that I work hard. This is what I love doing. This is what makes my heart beat. When I'm in the gym and things feel great, things feel amazing, right? And I know so many people can understand because they can do that with their own things, right? Whether it be art or music or their job. If you like going to work every day and sitting at a cubicle and typing on the computer every day, then live your freaking truth. This is how I live mine. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. And I know so many people that also wouldn't trade it for the world.
We've talked about your relationships. I want to know what your journey has been like. Because I know when I came out, I was 26. I had always kind of felt like, I know that I'm different, but I don't know what that means. But I always circle back to your age of you're so young and you know so much and you've lived such a life. What does that journey look like for you?
Well, it's kind of just, you live your entire life feeling like there's a wire crossed. Back in high school, I was like, I'm gay. Never dated a boy. Kissed a boy once, and I was like, that's not really my thing. But I was still I've got to be gay. There's no other explanation. And it wasn't until college, and I was listening to a podcast, and one of the hosts on the podcast comes out as trans on the podcast, saying that she's going to start the hormones, she's going to do the whole process. And as she's talking, it wasn't as though I was relating to her. it was as if she was relating to me, right? She was taking a look at my story, not the other way around. And as she's talking, things are just clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. And I'm like, am I a girl? And it was like instantly the egg breaks and right? And then every time from there, somebody looks at you and says he, or uses my dead name, right? I like instantly anxiety, dysphoria. I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable with that. It was instant. And now I have language for it. And now I can actually relate that language. And it was like the wires were instantly like uncrossed. And then it's like taking the small steps. I'm gonna put on a bra. Okay. I'm gonna wear some eyeshadow. I'm gonna paint my nails. I'm gonna do small things. I'm gonna keep my face shaven for a long period of time. And day by day, it's like another thing just clicks in. And it's like, that feels good. That feels good. And I feel like my entire life, I not taught by anybody, but unconsciously just kind of drilled into myself, like, don't chase what feels good. And I feel like a lot of us do that. We kind of get scared when things start to go our way or things start to feel good, when we start doing things that are out of our comfort zone that make us feel validated. I'm doing this. I chose to do this because it validates me and it's what I need to not only improve my quality of life, but to make me feel whole. Right? And I feel like nobody should be punished either by the outside world or by themselves for chasing that.
That story of like freedom and not living in fear and really getting to figure out who you are. And, when you first said like you thought you were gay at first and how when we have such limited language, even then it's like, okay, like I'll try this thing. But then for you to keep going like, nope, that's not it. Like to just keep fighting for that freedom, I think is like such an empowering story of how you've gotten to where you are.
Thank you so much. It was definitely, I'm lucky in that I didn't have to fight anybody but myself, right? Because so many other people, especially around the world, and even in states within the US, have to fight more than just themselves and their own identity to get what they need, to find the medical care that they need. Because this is what it is. It's medical. This makes us better. This improves our quality of life. If it improves our quality of life, why wouldn't it be medical? Right? So I'm so privileged in that I not only have a great support system behind me, but I also have the resources available to me. And those should be made more available across the country and around the world.
As you know, here at Giddy, we're really focusing on sexual health and the importance of it. And for you being a woman, a trans woman, an athlete, a trans athlete, I'm just wondering what sexual health means to you and how do you prioritize it?
Well, when I look at my athletics and when I look at how my body works, both in the gym and outside, I'm always looking at it holistically, right? And if I'm not healthy in a 360 degree of my body, I'm not healthy, period, right? And with transition, with like my body changing, I've had to really have a new experience of sexuality with my own body and my own sexual health. And being able to both talk to doctors who understand what's going on and like can provide a little bit more insight alongside taking the time on my own to keep researching and learning more about how my body changes and the things that I need. Looking at it holistically, I wouldn't be able to do much of anything if I didn't also take care of my sexual health, right? And as a trans person, if you're not taking the effort to at least learn more about what is changing about your sexual health, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage because it's important, right? It's one of the most important things that changes like through transition is that not only do your senses change, like how your body works changes, what feels good and what doesn't feel good changes, right? And you need to go and learn more not only about what's changing, but about what's staying the same, right? And how to better take care of your body in a more holistic fashion.
Thank you so much for talking to me today. I could talk to you for days on end, but I have one final question for you, and that is, what gets you giddy?
This is going to be super gay.
It's allowed.
So my girlfriend, I have like a very specific laugh when I'm like super giddy and super like giggling. And she will like attack me and like shower me with kisses on my face, and I'll get like super like blushy and uncontrollable and I start like giggling and laughing. And then she'll just stop and like grab me and hold me. And it's like, wow, I'm home. I'm happy. I can be joyous. I'm safe here. And like, I think that's the most like giddy I can feel right now.
You are so loved. That's it. That's all I have for you today. I love you.